name is Amir Razak, and I'm recording this on TikTok to make sure that I don't go over 3 minutes. Some of you may remember me as Miss Amira from when I taught maths at the Regent School, maybe the year 11s and some of the year 10s. I studied chemical engineering at the University of Manchester because I really like chemistry and maths, but I found out that actually the degree was mostly physics, but that's a story for another day. At A levels, I did chemistry, maths, economics, and biology. And even though Chem Eng wasn't what I expected, I would still recommend chemical engineering or any engineering degree as a really good degree to have because it makes you very versatile. With an engineering degree, you can work in any industry, literally, apart from maybe medicine and law. You can work in energy, both oil and gas or renewables. You can work in pharmaceuticals. You can work in finance, consulting, tech, farming. I don't know. It's a very good degree to have because of the way you're trained to think and the way you're trained to work. So employers really value engineering as a degree. So if you're mathematically minded and you like sciences, definitely think about engineering. The challenges I faced during my degree obviously was very hard. So one piece of advice that I give to you guys is to have a solid group of friends that will help you through it. People who are going through the same thing as you and who are studying the same course will help you. And without my friends, I probably wouldn't have done as well as I did. So after my degree, I taught at the Regent, taught maths. Then I decided to go and use my degree and work in the oil and gas industry as an engineer, which was fun at times. I went offshore and stuff, worked on the oil rig. But after 2.5 years, I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I did a complete 180. And now I want to do something in education, or I am doing something in education. I'm studying yet another degree. I'm doing an MBA in education and I mentor children as well. And I'm working on something that you guys will probably find out about soon in the edutech space. So stay tuned for that. All this to say that it's okay to not have it figured out yet. We're all trying to figure it out, even the grown-ups. I think it's actually quite unfair that at the age of 16, you have to choose subjects that will determine your career and the rest of your lives, really. So don't fret if you don't know what you want to do. It's okay to not have it all figured out. Obviously, some of you will have a pure calling and know exactly what you want to do. But if you don't know what you want to do, that's also okay. So don't worry about it. I hope you all found this helpful. If you have any questions, I will put my email somewhere on the screen, or you can ask Mr. King or the guidance counselor for my email address. Just pop me an email. I'm happy to answer any question.
Hello, my name is Camille Cheyenne and I'm a segment officer at Union Bank. My Bachelor of Arts was in Global Communications and I got that from the American University of Paris. That was a 4-year course. After that, I got a master's in luxury brand management from Regent University London, and that was a 1-year course. I don't remember what the subjects required at IGCSE were, um, but I also did foundation instead of A levels because I thought that the pathway directly to uni was faster, and I also wanted a university experience right before university. Personally, I didn't want to do A levels and have to go to and then do A levels and then go to university after. I just wanted like a pathway where from the beginning you're already treated as a university student, which is what I got. So I can't say what subjects are needed, but what I will say is that if you choose to do foundation, it's very intensive. You're basically like thrown right into the deep end and treated like a university student. So if you know that you need a bit of time or you need a bit more attention, then definitely take the A levels route. So some of the challenges in my field are um, I guess I'll talk more specifically about Nigeria. A lot of people don't really know what we do. So as a segment officer, I work with the different departments in the bank, and I'm essentially their project manager. So I've led about 4 product launches. I'm also supposed to find viable partnerships for the bank, and I've led 2 partnerships till date. Prospects in my field are doing brand communications for big brands. So every time you see a campaign or an advert, it's my team that puts that together. When you see all these billboards outside, we come up with the idea. We work with either internally or with an external team to figure out how we want to put the message together, to make sure the tone of voice and basically that whatever we execute is in line with the brand. Other prospects are to work in advertising. If you're very creative, you're really good with graphic design, you can work in graphic design actually and be the person who actually does the creative side of these big billboards and ad campaigns. If you're really good at writing, you can be a copywriter, you can be a UI UX writer, which means that for when you go on websites, all the text that you see there, like you're the one that does that. There's so many things to do. I also plan events for my company, and I help startups get off the ground essentially with their marketing strategies. So if you choose to study communications, then there are so many job prospects out there. You can work in TV. You can actually write scripts and screenplays. If you want to work in TV, you also come up with you write the text for TV, you do the show running. So there's so much to do if you study communications, or if you study something else but choose to go into communications. I hope this is helpful.
Hello, my name is Razak. I'm currently 23 years old. I live in Lagos, but currently living in London. My career is in the energy sector. I worked at ExxonMobil UK, which is an oil and gas company dealing with trading and selling the final products of oil and gas. So petrol, diesel, jet fuel, and biofuels. Now I'm transitioning from the non-renewable energy to the renewable energy. So solar, wind farm, and the likes of that. And I'm doing that because of a really crazy and very important thing that's happening called climate change. To get here, I studied chemical engineering in my university of my undergraduate degree. And as part of my transition, I'm doing a master's in climate change management and finance for my master's. To start from the beginning, my IGCSEs were the usual of English, maths. I did French. I did all three sciences. So biology, chemistry, physics. I did drama. I did global perspectives. And for my A-levels, I originally did chemistry, biology, mathematics, and politics. But then I dropped biology because it was too hard and I found it very, very boring. And you did not need it to become a chemical engineer. Then I went to the University of Sheffield with my undergraduate degree, studying chemical engineering, as I said. And I'm now at Imperial College Business School doing my master's of climate change management and finance again. So the challenges in the energy career, in the energy sector right now, and doing an energy career, is the fact that we're all looking to transition because of climate change. Climate change, especially people in Africa and Asian countries, are going to be impacted the most by climate change. So we need all the creative, all the mathematical, all the smart people and in this video watching, learning, knowing more about climate change so they can really help out this energy transition, because the technology is not yet there to get to a full-on transition, and many countries are lacking behind and are still in the oil and gas world. So that's going to be really, really hard, and that's what. But however, because it's hard, just because it's hard, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be a good challenge. And because it's new, there's so many new players on the market. There's so many new technologies. You learn something new every day. There's always something in the news about countries going net zero or having plans to put like solar farms or wind farms in the area. So it's a really, really exciting world to be in. And it doesn't just take like being someone even though I took the STEM route of doing like a science and engineering subject to get there, you don't only need to do that. You could come in from a politics background, you can come in from an economics background, you can even come in from like a marketing background, because we need to know how to market like the climate change changes and like what climate change is going to do to everyday audiences. So everybody is important in this transition, and anyone can join the energy sector in these kind of ways. So I'm really excited, and I would love to get more questions if anybody has or wants my personal email to get into this kind of degree and into this sector. And yes, bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Tohida Babagana. I graduated from Regent Secondary School in 2013 and I currently work at Macquarie. Macquarie is an Australian investment bank, but they're more widely known for their asset management division, which is the part of the business that I work in. So we're the largest infrastructure and real asset managers in the world. And what that means, or what we do, is we invest in real tangible assets. So these are assets you can see, assets we use every day. So it's things like roads, airports, electricity networks, gas networks, water networks, and I guess trying to make an impact in people's lives, but from a financial services perspective. I work in the client solutions group, so we're in charge of the fundraising, the investor relations, and creating products basically that our clients want and would like to invest in. And yeah, ultimately, I guess packaging these as investment products for them to invest in. But on the back end, what our asset teams are doing is actually owning these assets and trying to generate revenue. So for example, in the context of Nigeria, it would be if the government was to privatize Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, we would then buy an airport like that and try and find different strategic ways of trying to generate money from it, which could be a range of different things like duty-free, advertisement boards, parking, like it really could be anything. So that's a very brief summary of what we do. And to get to, I guess, how I'm finding it, or the challenges or prospects of the job, I would say some of the challenges of working in financial services, whether it's investment banking, asset management, hedge funds, or even in support roles, is that it's very fast-paced, it's very demanding. There's always a lot going on. You could be working on multiple deals at once, or working on multiple investor deadlines all at once, and you sort of have to hit those targets. What that means as well is your retention rate has to be really high. You have to be ready to constantly adapt and change the different things you're working on. But it also means that you could be working very late hours. So for example, me, I have months or times when I'm finishing work as late as 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's kind of normal during the very busy periods. Whereas maybe finishing work at like 8 or something, I'm actually happy. That being said, it's also very rewarding. As I said, you're impacting people's lives, no matter what it is you're doing. You could be punching numbers into an Excel model or playing around here with like a presentation, and ultimately it is impacting someone's life. So they also have summer internships if you're in your second to last year of study, and then ultimately then have graduate programs which are offered to you when you graduate to start permanently. So after JP Morgan, I didn't get a graduate job, so I went back to Nigeria and I did my NYSC when I graduated university in Nigeria's Sovereign Wealth Fund, which was, I guess, the exposure for me of the cross sections between finance and infrastructure, which I thought I really enjoyed. And I came back to England to do my master's at Imperial in economics and strategy for business. And that was when I sort of then got my current role. So in A-levels, I did media, ICT, psychology, and economics. As you can tell, very, very different subjects. And that was because I did not know what I wanted to do. Up until 2 years ago, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So if you don't just yet, that is perfectly fine. What I would encourage you to do though is to do as many internships as you can. Even in Nigeria, it's very easy to probably try and shadow people, maybe people you meet today or during the fair, or anyone you come in contact with through your network and people that you know, your parents know. I'd strongly advise you sort of get into it, because unless you're doing the job, you never really know whether it's something that you enjoy or not. And in terms of the grades required or sort of subjects required, so for economics, what you would need, depending on if you're doing a BSc or BA, is basically just the minimum that the school requires to get in. So some schools might ask for an A and 2 Bs, some school might ask for A stars. If you're doing a BSc degree, most of the time you need maths. If you're doing a BA degree, then you don't. So that's like, I guess, a brief background with economics. With working in financial services in particular, they don't have any subject requirements. So it's a common misconception that maybe you have to have studied finance or investment banking or something. You don't. They just have, again, minimum requirements of your grades. And in most places, it's for you to be on track to be getting a 2-1 or to have a 2-1 after you graduate. So if it is something that you're looking into, don't think you have to then start studying finance right now in university. You can go into later on. I work with people who've done geology, engineering, psychology, like a wide range. So yeah, I think it's a great industry. There are many options within the industry, and I'll be happy to speak to anyone further, or if anyone has any further questions about it, given this is like a very short snippet of it.
Hello everybody, my name is Fozia Gibi. I was in TRSS and I went to Regent College 2019 to 2021. I spent 2 years there. I did the 2-year A-level course and I took psychology, business and literature in English. So I would say that my time in the Regent College was really fun, but also really tasking at the same time. Obviously, with anything new that you're doing, it's going to be hard to adjust, and that was definitely the case for me. I wouldn't say it was too hard to adjust to, because by second term thereabout I got the hang of it. Obviously my teachers were there to help me. All my teachers were really helpful, and also you have the support from your friends and classmates as well. I was also in boarding as well. I was in boarding in the first year because obviously COVID happened after that, but boarding was really fun. I really enjoyed my time there. It was my first time as a boarder. We had a lot of freedom, but it was also really managed as well. And honestly, life at Regent College kind of just prepared me for life right now in university, because in Regent College you have 2-hour classes sometimes, and in uni my classes are 2 hours and 40 minutes, so that kind of prepared me for that. Also, with the course content of A-levels also prepared me for that, because right now I do media and communications at the University of Guelph, and we do a lot of essay writing, lots of analyzing. Some of my courses are have a bit of psychology in them. I have a course that I do that's marketing and PR, which is business. So you can see that my A-level combinations really helped with what I'm doing now, because obviously literature you do essays and so on, you guys understand. I would suggest that you take subject combinations that you're interested in, but also would help you with the courses you want to take in university. So you have to start thinking about that. So one thing I would like to add is that at Regent College I really learned how to manage my time. I really learned not to procrastinate. I really learned the importance of just being disciplined with yourself, because like I said before, we had a lot of freedom, lots of free time. You're going to be having free periods. You might not even have to come to school in the morning. So things like that, you have to know how to manage it and really be disciplined with yourself, because in university that's also what you have to do. Nobody tells you to go to class here. Well, I'm not in my uni room right now, but in Regent College or college in general, you just have to learn how to discipline yourself. Also have fun. It's a really interesting time of your life. You guys should enjoy your time there. And thank you for having me. Bye.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Carella Brigidi. I attended Regent School between year 2000 and year 2003. So I'm currently the technical advisor to the Commissioner for Trade, Industry and Investment in Bayelsa State. So as you can tell by the job, actually, I'm an investment analyst by profession. So my job is to give investment advice, to give financial advice, to advise on money, investments or projects, things that involve financing, investors, returns, because that's my job, to make people rich, or, to advise adequately and smart. So in school, I did international baccalaureate. So in higher level, I had mathematics, I had economics, history, and geography. On the lower standard level side, I had English, biology, and French. So while I was in school, in secondary school, I actually didn't know what I wanted to study in uni. But my dad always kept telling me, oh, go read medicine, be a doctor. He would tell all his friends, my daughter's going to be a doctor. But his daughter was not good in chemistry. I wasn't good in chemistry. We didn't work together at all. So that ship sailed. And I realized that my best subjects were in mathematics, were in economics, were in subjects that involved calculations and money or numbers per se. So I stuck to my strengths. And then, funny enough, in uni, I went to Regent's Business School. When I got into uni, I didn't actually study finance. I actually ended up taking global business management with Mandarin. No, I don't speak Chinese. So I took global business and I got to study law, marketing, finance, business ventures, anything that had to do with a business, the business side of things. It's like what you call business admin, I guess, but on a more broader scope, and it was very exciting for me. So I enjoyed reading or studying business. So for my master's, I decided, okay, I'm still going to do business, but I'm going to now focus it to international business. So I chose to do international business at the Webster University in St. Louis, Missouri. And I got the opportunity to do a study exchange program within London and Beijing. And I chose Beijing, because obviously going to China, it's exciting. I could now practice the Mandarin I had learned in the first degree. So I was in China for about 3 months, which was very nice for me. So after I finished the school, I got into working. My first job, I remember my first job, I was in Lagos, and oh my goodness, it was hard. Working is not like school. School, you have your coursework, you know what you have to do, you already know the end goal, so you just have to work towards it. But with working, every day is a new day. You had different tasks. You had to deal with people's personalities. You had to deal with customers. You had to deal with your bosses. You had to deal with your colleagues. So there was so much going on working. But it was an experience that I'd never forget. And I think it helped me make better decisions, So after that, I decided, you know what? I don't want to just be a business woman per se. I actually wanted to be more specialized in the finance field because I did enjoy the numbers and the money aspect of it. So I went back to study professional exams actually, so on the investment banking side. So I went back to do the stock exchange. So I learned on trading, forex, derivatives, and all of that has to do with the investment side and giving and good, adequate, what's the word? Advice, financial advice, yes. So my career is a career that is heavily licensed, because to protect the general public, investment analysts needs to be licensed. You just can't give investment advice or conduct investment schemes or all of that without a proper license. You need to save people from getting scammed or getting tricked. So even with all of that, people still end up getting tricked. So it's really my job to make sure that whatever investment a person is doing, it is advisable for them, it is good for their goal, and overall it makes you a better person. You're doing well for the general public, And another thing I like to say before I end this video is that it's okay to not know what you want to study. It's okay to be confused sometimes, and it is okay to change. Interests change as you get older, likes change. So you may find that what you like in school may not necessarily be the field you end up in career-wise. So it's okay to keep exploring and keep learning. Always continue learning. You never stop. Thank you for this opportunity to talk to all of you, and I wish you very best in the future.
Hello everyone, my name is Ajoke Ojikutu. I'm a legal officer at the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. I was called to the bar in 2017, and since then I've been practicing law. I think that makes me only 5 years at the bar, so I'm actually still considered a baby lawyer. I went to the University of Manchester, where I studied politics and international relations first, and then I went to BPP London, and I did a GDL and a conversion course, which converted my GDL into a law degree. So a GDL is a graduate diploma in law. It's basically like a compressed law degree. So I didn't go to university for law for 3 years. I think I got it in about 2 years. For GCSEs, I did maths, English lit, history, all the sciences, further maths, food technology, French. Did I say history? Yeah, I did history. That was one of my favorite. You can pretty much do anything you want if you want to be a lawyer at GCSE and A level, as far as I'm aware. So when I was in school, oh my god, I sound so old. But yeah, when I was in school, there were actually no requirements for doing law like you would any other profession like medicine. So for my A level, I did maths, politics, and economics. I don't know why I did those subjects. If you're going to study law and you want subjects to help you, it will definitely help to do subjects like history, English, politics. You can take extracurricular classes like critical thinking, because law involves a lot of analysis and creativity, essentially. You'll have to find out from whatever universities you want to go to if you actually need to study some certain subjects to do law. Some might require it, I don't know. And I also got my law degree in the UK. It might be different in other jurisdictions, like in America or wherever. I would say there are definitely many challenges being a lawyer in Nigeria. Lawyers in other jurisdictions will have their own challenges that pertain to where they practice. Practicing law in Nigeria is, it's a different ball game. It's not like Suits or Better Call Saul or Law and Order, all these shows where you're like, objection, Your Honor, and all that. There's none of that. If you're in it for the thrills, you're not going to find it here. Yes, we have a litigation system here, but it's not as show busy as the Americans. As you guys know, we were colonized by the British, so our legal system is basically coined according to the British system in a way. So we adopt a lot of their own practices. In fact, we still wear wigs and gowns, which everyone is always arguing is so outdated. Another thing is you have to go to law school. That's definitely another challenge because law school is so different from university. One of the challenges is definitely our litigation system here. It's very cumbersome. If you don't know what a litigation lawyer is, they're basically the lawyers that go to court and argue all your cases for you or defend you in court. There's so many things that inhibit a very speedy justice system basically in Nigeria. When you're watching a show or, maybe you get into a fight with one driver on the road and you're like, I'm going to sue you, it's not as simple as that. It's a whole procedure that can take years before you get any judgment or any verdict at all from the court. I've been on cases that have been there even before I was born, and I'm quite old, so that's a long time. Another challenge will definitely be making money. I know on TV and in showbiz, lawyers always look so rich and are driving a Mercedes and all of that. That is literally just the wrong perception. You're going to have to put in years and years of hard work before you get to a level where you're making a lot of money. So just keep in mind that for the first 5 to 10 years of your career, you're going to be broke. It's all right. You'll be learning a lot, but you're going to be broke. One of the best things about studying law, I have to say, is definitely the versatility. You can do absolutely anything. Like literally, I know about so many industries because of law. I know about the medical profession. I know about the entertainment industry. I know about the energy industry. All kinds of people are going to come to you with their problems. Doctors, engineers, rappers, singers. You're a problem solver. That is what you do. You're basically like a therapist, essentially, but in a different way. But obviously, you can't solve their problem if you don't know, the rules and regulations about the industries in which they are in. So you have to read a lot and learn a lot all the time. It also gives you definitely a sense of pride and knowledge because, you're very knowledgeable. You know the things that guide and rule our society, So it kind of makes you better than everybody. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely great to know what you're doing or what you want to do rather. But I think for the people that are not so sure, it's also okay. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I definitely knew who I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to be successful and influential. I knew I wanted to inspire women. I didn't know how I was going to get it, but that is what I knew. Where you guys are in life, I think that's okay. I think whatever it is that you do decide to do in the end or do study at university, even if, your heart isn't completely in it, I think it's important to always do it well. Do it to the best of your ability all the time. Put in the effort, put in the hours, try your best to get as best of grades as you can because that would give you more options and more opportunities and a lot more choices. I think that's all from me. I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much for having me, Regent School. Bye.
Hi, my name is Paul Enenche. I am 18 years old and I school at University of Pech in Hungary. And the requirements for getting into the school are not a lot. You just need to write the entrance exam for the school and you also need to have we didn't necessarily have certain grades that were required, so I'm not sure, but obviously for medicine, good grades would definitely be required, but there aren't specific grades that were required. And yes, the prospects and challenges are, I would say, there are not too many challenges here. There's a bit of adaptation that's needed because the system is a bit different, because the exams are not like the way they are in Nigeria. For example, there are a lot of oral exams, and even the written exams have different variations. They're not all multiple choice. There are some that are just written theory questions, so that would get a bit of adjusting to, but overall it's a wonderful experience. It's a nice city, it's a calm, quiet place to be in, and there are a lot of positives to coming here. I would say one of the things that may be considered as a negative or a con is the fact that it's a different system. You'll be used to a different system, and that's something to bear in mind. The general system of Hungary is different. For example, the grading system, the things that may be considered as a negative or a con is the fact that it's a different system. You'll be used to a different system, and that's something to bear in mind. The general system of Hungary is different. For example, the grading system is different. You have grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 is a fail, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 is a pass, 3 is satisfactory, 4 is good, and 5 is excellent. So you aim for a good grade, but 2 is the minimum required to pass an exam. And in an oral exam, for example, if you for example, you have 2 topics to choose. If you get one topic that's good and the other one isn't good for you, for example, the person doesn't pass, and that derails them from passing that subject. So those type of things you can bear in mind. But overall, once you're used to that system, it will be good. I'm an alumni of Regent School, and that was where I did my A-levels to prepare for the medical school, and I would say that really helped me. I advise doing an A-levels, whichever school you may go to. Doing an A-levels would be a very good help, because it helps you to be familiarized with many of the things you learn in the first year and things that you will build upon. But overall, I think is a good system if that's what you're used to, and if that's what you would be willing to get used to, I should say, and if that's what you would be able to learn. I advise you ask around from people as well to hear their experiences, because people have different experiences in the schools they go to. But yeah, overall it's fine.
Hi guys, I'm Yama Omorigwe, the co-founder and chief operating officer at Bamboo. Bamboo is an online brokerage service that allows Africans invest in the US stock market. So that means that from your phone or other personal device, you can download the app, get registered in less than 5 minutes, and buy shares and become a part owner in companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, and other large companies in the US. I did 9 subjects for IGCSE: math, further math, physics, chemistry, biology, history, French, English, and ICT. And then for A-level, 6th form, I did math, further math, physics, and chemistry. And then I spent 4 years at Imperial College for university studying to become a chemical engineer. So I have a master's in chemical engineering. As you can probably tell, a master's in chemical engineering is totally different from what I do now, which is running a fintech company. So for me, a big challenge was during university. Even though I was studying chemical engineering halfway, I realized that I didn't like it, and I knew that I didn't want to become a chemical engineer. But I also recognized how important it was to finish my degree and get a good degree while still also getting good grades. So a big challenge for me during that period was staying determined, stayed focused, studying, and at the end of the day, it was just staying really focused on what was important, which at the time was getting a degree and doing really well, and focusing on that. And that was really hard. it wasn't always fun. It wasn't always the best time, but it taught me a couple of things. And the number one thing was around learning to manage my time. So what I had to do a lot during that period was focus, do school, try and do my best in school, and then learn how to maximize the time when I wasn't in school. And I spent all the time when I wasn't in school trying new things, learning new things, trying to figure out what it was that I did enjoy. And that's sort of how I ended up here, where I realized, oh wow, I actually really enjoy finance. I enjoy finance related stuff. And when I got into the workforce and started working, I started working in financial industry, and now I run a fintech company that just raised a $15 million Series A from a couple of really great US investors. So yeah, if I can do it, you can too. And I wish you guys all the best and have an amazing careers day.